everyone, my name is Nicole and I do pick-a-card readings on this channel. If you are unfamiliar with pick-a-card readings, then I will explain it in just a moment. Today we're focusing on finding out what's happening for our week ahead. So I have your piles here ready. This is actually an extension of my Instagram post, so if you want to check that out, you don't have to see the full reading of this. It's just actually where this idea came from, so if you want to check that out, I'll be sure to link it down below. If you are new to this channel, please consider subscribing. I would really appreciate your support, and you'll be able to see more of pick-a-card readings if you end up liking them at the end, or if you already do like pick-a-card readings. So let's get into actually picking your pile. So we have 3 piles right here. This is group 1, 2, and 3, and I'll give you a close-up of the crystals in just a second. You can pick via pile or number, or you can pick whichever crystal or pile you are drawn to the most. I always recommend taking a deep breath before doing this, just so you can center yourself and pick the pile that will resonate with you most. So yeah, we'll start with the Howlite crystal. This is group 1. Then we have Lepidolite. This is group 2. And we have, I believe this is the Moss Agate crystal. This is group 3. Alright, so whichever pile is resonating with you the most, go ahead and pick your pile and then go down to the comments below and click on the timestamp, and it will take you straight to your reading. If more than one is resonating with you, then you are free to see both. And yeah, I'm just gonna get started with the first reading. Enjoy! Hello group 1. So if you chose the Howlite crystal, then this reading is for you. Please keep in mind that this is a general reading, so please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So we'll start with your cards in the middle here. They are supposed to be the overview of your week. So let's see your tarot card. It is the Knight of Inspiration, and the overall advice for this week is assessing first quarter moon. There we go. Alright, so okay, this is really great because I actually don't see the Knight of Inspiration come up a lot whenever I use this deck. I don't know why, but it's a really beautiful card to see, just because, I mean, first of all, it looks amazing. It looks very energized. It's a unicorn or a horse running through the desert under the fireworks. It's a very inspired card. This week you may be feeling incredibly inspired and motivated, wanting to take action, and maybe even giving into your urges and being spontaneous about taking action this week. But the overall advice for this week is to assess, meaning kind of look ahead and plan ahead. So it's great that you want to give into your urges, you want to take action and maybe follow your dreams, or whatever it is that you end up doing this week. It could be something small, it could be something big. Just make sure that you're still planning ahead, that you're still taking calculated risk. There we go. It's okay to take risk and be spontaneous, but you want to make sure you're taking them and calculating what you need to take those risks. Does that make sense? So let me give you an example. So let's say that something this week inspired you to go to a restaurant. Maybe you saw something, I don't know, on Instagram or TikTok, and you heard amazing reviews about this one restaurant, but it's really far away from you. It's like an hour drive or something. So you give into this urge and you decide to just go for it. You decide to go there, drive an hour away, and you get there and you realize that the restaurant is closed. So those are the kinds of examples that I'm talking about or situations that may come up this week, you just want to make sure it doesn't take, it doesn't take that long to check if a restaurant is open or not. You just want to do a little bit of planning ahead or assessing before you give in to your spontaneous actions or urges that may come up for you this week. All right, so let's get into your other cards. Let's see what we have for this week. We have the Two of Materials. We have the Five of Emotions. We have the Hanged Muse, which is equivalent to the Hangman in the Tarot. And we have Temperance. All right. Okay, so for this week, let me start with the Five of Emotions, because I see it causing this Hanged Muse right here. So with the Five of Emotions, this card is usually about loss and disappointment. It's, what's the phrase that I'm thinking about? Crying over spilled milk, if you will. So the thing with this card is it's very emotional, it's very sad, and I see it as something that may have been affecting you from the past week, or maybe even the past few weeks. I feel like you already know what this is about. And the thing with this card is that there's always a silver lining to it. There's always, in the depiction of the original tarot, it's someone crying over these two cups that are already spilled and fallen over, while there's three cups behind him that's full. So in a way, it's telling you that there's opportunities out there, and maybe you're really hung up on this. Maybe this has been really affecting you the past week or few weeks, that sometime this week, every now and then, you'll kind of feel like you're in limbo because these emotions keep coming up, and you kind of feel like you're in this uncomfortable position because you don't know what to do over the situation now. But at the same time, I feel like with the Knight of Inspiration, you want to break through it. You don't want to be in this place anymore. You don't want to be confused and sad and disappointed anymore. You want to take action again and take back your power and do other things, which is actually really good because, like I said, there's other opportunities out there. You just aren't seeing them yet. So the focus of this week is the Two of Materials. It's telling you to get yourself busy, get yourself back into balance and back into order. If that means, rebalancing your schedule, maybe with a new routine, or a new routine, or maybe actually sitting down and planning out this week, or writing a to-do list would be really helpful for you, especially with the advice of assessing. This will help you from taking really impulsive actions and turning them into actual calculated actions. So that's the advice and focus that I'm seeing for this week. There's really that theme here of Temperance, which is all about coming back into balance. And this is not just your, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not just emotional, it's also like about the physical world. Because in the traditional meaning of the Temperance and artwork of it, there's a person standing on water and the other foot on land. So what I see with this is you needing to rebalance both, is rebalancing and releasing this Five of Emotions, and also rebalancing your life, because maybe you've been so hung up and caught up in this situation and this emotion in the past that maybe you've let go of your routine, and maybe you've let go of some responsibilities and things that you were supposed to have been doing the past few weeks, and that's difficult. I really understand that, because that means now you have more to do. I I totally get that. That happens to me too. But I see you being really, really productive this week, and I think you're going to do a great job rebalancing things and coming up with a new routine and being really on top of it if you can just plan ahead and make your to-do list this week. So, don't give up. You're getting there. You are about to make this breakthrough from whatever happened with this 5 emotions and this hang muse. So let's see what other advice we can get. We have, I forgot what deck this is from, but I will link it down below. So we have 2 cards here. We have Forgive, red, and we have Dragon, Slay Them All. Okay. Yeah, so I think these cards are really emphasizing to release and let go of whatever this is. And for this card, red, which has the caption of forgive, I'm really seeing this as a need to forgive yourself. Because I feel like you blame yourself for what happened in this. And that's the thing, is sometimes things just don't work out and you don't want to blame yourself for everything. You don't want to keep blaming yourself because it starts to become negative talk and it starts to affect you even more. You start to feed it that way. So I think this week, taking the time to be really gentle and rebalancing back into your routine and your life is really going to help you move on from this, and it's really going to help you slay your dragons, as it says on this card right here. It's just being able to slay your anxieties, being able to slay your... Sorry about that, my camera got cut off. But as I was saying, whatever this 5 of emotions has been, it's happened, it's in the past. You don't need to stay here. You don't need to blame yourself, and you don't need to be in this place where you're down, where you're beaten. You can get up like this girl is in the picture. As you can see, she has a prosthetic leg there. Despite everything that's happened, she's ready to go there again and slay her own dragons. And that's you. That's what the potential that you have for this week to do. So definitely, especially with these advice cards, I'm really seeing you trying to break through this week. And you should be proud of that, because it means that you've made it through this difficult time. Alright, so we have 2 more cards here. These have really nice affirmations in them. You were only supposed to get 1, but 2 came out, so you get both. So we have Unhappy, I Will Rise, and we have Intoxicated, I Release Low Vibrations. Yeah, it's the same as I've been saying about the other cards, and I'm actually kind of amazed how well your cards have resonated. But it's interesting because this card reminds me of the Death card. It really looks like that to me, but that's the thing with the Death card, is that yes, things are difficult in transition, but from that there's always, that sun in the horizon. There's always that beginning and new thing coming up. You will rise above these challenges. And exactly as I said, you need to let go of whatever this is. That's another focus that you could have this week, is maybe doing some shadow work when you have some free time, or just some meditations to get yourself into higher vibrations, into a more positive mindset, is really releasing some of the low vibrations, negative thoughts and feelings that you've been having. Okay, group 1, that is your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next week. Hello, group 2. If you chose this Lepidolite crystal right here, then this reading is for you. Please remember that this is a general reading, so please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. We'll start with the middle cards here, which is supposed to be your overview and overall advice for the week. So for your tarot card, we have the Four of Emotions and Trust. We have the Egg Moon. Okay, so sorry, I keep bumping into the camera. For this week, it's interesting because the Cups is the suit of emotions, which is what the Four of Emotions is. But I always kind of associate this card as the unfeeling card. That's what I would describe it to someone if someone asked me what it was. It's the card where you're feeling and indifferent. You're kind of feeling like you don't care about anything. If somebody goes to you and says, oh yeah, you know, there's this great new place, we should try it out, and you're like, sure, whatever. That would be the kind of response that you would have. Even if something really great came along, like maybe someone wanted to give you a gift, someone gave you a crystal or flowers or something like that, you would kind of be feeling, oh yeah, you know, thanks, it's a crystal, it's a flower. That's kind of like the attitude of the Four of Emotions. And I see that as the overview of your week, so it's probably the dominating emotion that you're having this week. I feel like this is carrying from last week or maybe the past few weeks. Usually when this comes up, I feel like, especially with this Trust card here, which is the overall advice for this week, it's because for me, when this comes up and other times that I've seen it in other readings, it comes up when we're working on a goal and it's taking forever to happen, and we're kind of in this limbo where we feel like it might not happen anymore, and it's kind of like a defense system so that you don't feel so sad or disappointed, and you start to kind of close up and you get into this state where you're kind of unfeeling, you're kind of not interested in anything because you're setting yourself up for what you think is coming or what the worst thing that could happen is. But that's the thing that you're being called to do this week, is to trust that things will work out. Don't give up. It may not seem like it right now. It may be taking longer than you think it is, but definitely don't give up and keep going. I want to see what the rest of the cards are so we can get more clarity on what this is. So we'll start up here. We have, oh, this is interesting. We have the Muse of Voices, which is equivalent to the King of Swords. We have the Magician. We have the Lovers. And we have the Knight of Voices. Okay, wow. This is really interesting because we have two major arcanas and two court cards. So I'm not sure if a lot is happening for you this week, but it's definitely a significant week to, especially internally. But let me tell you what I'm seeing here. So the Lovers, with the Lovers card, I'm seeing two things here. This could be about love. This could be maybe something that didn't work out or something that fell through. Maybe you were feeling something for someone and you thought it was going to work out and you thought something was going to happen, but maybe it didn't, and it's leaving you in this place kind of like in that state of unfeeling. Or for others of you, because this card makes me think of two paths, and I think that you had to make a choice recently, and you're kind of, some of you may even be regretting your choice maybe because it's not the easiest choice, it's not the quick and fast route to your goal, and maybe now you're kind of regretting it, or you're kind of scared that you went down this path because you don't know what's going to happen, and you're having thoughts of, oh well, what if I went the other route instead? Would that have been better? But you have, okay, so your two court cards are both swords, or voices, I guess, or equivalent to swords in the original tarot. And that's all about mentality, especially these two cards. This is about really being decisive. This is about taking action and making your actions and choices all about what you have decided, what you have made your mind up. So I think this week that's the focus, is to trust that everything will work out, to trust in the choice that you made, because that's the path that you're on right now, and that's what the universe wants you to focus on, because it's saying here that you are the magician. You have everything that you need to make this happen. And maybe this isn't the easiest route that you took. Maybe the other one might have been more fast track, but this is more comprehensive. This is more holistic, and maybe, who knows, maybe in the long run this will net you more success and profit. But it's the path that you're on now, and I think what it's telling us right now is just don't look back. Focus on where you're at now. Start making up plans and decisions and really solidifying the ideas that you have for this path, and take actions based on those decisions, on what you've made your mind up on this path. That's what I'm seeing with the Lover's card here, is you really need to release the doubts that you're having about what you chose, because you can do this. You have what it takes, and you will be supported as you go through this journey, as you go down this path. All right, let's see, let's move on to your other oracle cards. We have Release Your Guilt, Clover, and we have Storm, Every Hurricane Comes to an End. Okay, yeah, that's interesting that it's asking you to release your guilt. And I was just saying, you know, release your anxieties and doubts about this, because whatever happened in this, especially since it's the Lover's card, I will pull a Lover's or a love card in one of my decks in just a minute. But I wonder if the path that you chose left you with some guilt. Maybe because on this path that you're on now, maybe there were some people that weren't happy with your decision, or maybe they felt left behind by your decision, or there's just something about this path and decision that you made that's making you feel guilty. And I have a feeling that it has something to do with people in your life and how they're seeing things. And the thing that you want to remember is right now you're being asked to put yourself first. Maybe this person, whoever this is, doesn't see it now, but in the end of it, this will be good for you and whoever they are also. All right, let me pull you an oracle card. So if your situation has to do with a romantic situation, then that's what we'll get advice on. It's really taking its time. Hey guys, so I finally got a card to pop out from this Love Compass Oracle deck. I had to cut the camera because it cuts at 10 minutes. I have no choice, and I had to restart it again. So here we are, and here's the card that we got. It is conflict. There is a conflict within a relationship that is causing emotional upset and tension. Some things may have been said from a negative place. There could be some internal or mental conflict about a choice or situation. This may pertain to the need for honesty in a relationship. Okay, so this is more about love. This deck is I usually use this deck for love and romance, but this can also pertain to other types of relationships and friendships or family matters even. So that really makes sense with what you need to release your guilt on. If you've had a certain conflict with someone that you really care about or you're close to, then I can see why it's making you be in this place of the Four of Emotions and why you're feeling guilty. But don't worry, it's coming to an end. This week is actually with 2 court cards in the Swords suit, which are the voices. This is actually a really good week to resolve it. So if you want to talk to that person, or maybe you need to say sorry to each other, if you both said things that are hurtful to each other or may have been said in the moment that you didn't mean. But the other thing to note here is if you've decided to go down a certain path, don't feel guilty for it. Don't feel guilty whether other people or this person do not approve of it. Be proud of your choice and know that you have whatever it takes to make this happen. And I really see that. I'm seeing it more now with the 2 cards of voices or swords, that this week is a week to really clarify things and really make peace with the decision that you made, and so really start to take action on that and becoming more proud of it and trusting more in it. I think as soon as you can let go of what happened with this or make some peace with this conflict, because whoever this is, you probably really value their advice and counsel. So I think it's just a place for you to really trust yourself and stand in your own confidence and power. Be confident in your choice. And, you know, if they really care about you, and when things start unfolding, they'll see that, you know, you were right in this choice, that you were able to make it, and that there was nothing really to worry about or even have conflict about. All right, so let's move on to your last card. This is kind of like an advice and also an affirmation. So we have proud. I love who I've become. So whoever you became in this choice, and whatever decisions you have made to get here, whatever path that you've chosen, be proud of it and be confident in it and trust that things will work out. All right, I'm going to end your reading there, group 2. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next week. Have a lovely day. Hello, group 3. If you chose this moss agate crystal, then this reading is for you. Please remember that this is a general reading, so please take what resonates with you and leave the rest. We'll start off with these cards in the middle. They are the overview of your week. So for your tarot card, you have the 10 of Inspiration, and we have growth as the overall advice. Okay, that's interesting actually, because the 10 of Inspiration is usually about kind of taking on too much, maybe being burdened by responsibilities or tasks, things that you needed to get done, and having them all pile up, maybe having like kind of like a burdensome energy of that because you've taken on too much. But then you have growth. So it makes me wonder if this 10 of Inspiration energy that's going on throughout your week is maybe because of this growth. Growth is expansion. Growth is doing more of whatever your goal is or whatever intentions that you have set in place and whatever you want to achieve. It seems like this week you're expanding on that, and maybe because you're expanding, because when we're expanding, it's still kind of like a type of change, so it can feel a bit overwhelming as well. On the bright side, it feels exciting because you're doing more, you're achieving more, you're getting to that next step or next level of your goal. But because it does expend more energy, then you feel a little bit more overwhelmed. The thing with this 10 of inspiration that I think is unique in this deck is that there's this one person over here, and it kind of looks like she has little minions in place that's carrying all of the other vases, jugs, whatever those are. And that's the thing with the 10 of inspirations. It's equivalent to the 10 of wands in the tarot, and usually in the traditional tarot, one person is carrying everything, while this one, it looks like everything is separated. And that's the main advice when it comes to the 10 of inspiration, is you want to be able to release some of those burdens, or maybe, I guess, separate or split things up. Maybe you're trying, maybe this week, whatever you end up doing or whatever you end up expanding on, you try to do it all in one day or in one place, and that's not the best and most efficient way to do things, because it can feel incredibly overwhelming, and it can also like make you feel disappointed if you can't do it all in one day or all in one place. So that's what I'm seeing as your overview for this week and things to keep in mind. Let's go ahead and look at your other cards so we can get more messages and more predictions for this week. So let's see here. Start at the bottom. We have 3 of emotions. We have Page of Inspiration. We have the Knight of Emotions. And we have the Magician. Okay. All right. Okay, yeah. So exactly kind of what I was saying with the growth card is maybe this week you're expanding on your goals, your ideas, you're taking the next step. The Knight of Emotions is about following your heart, following your dreams, following what you want to do. This is about leading with your heart and not your mind. This is about taking actions based on what your heart is telling you, and it's really beautiful because you have the Page of Inspiration. So this week you are filled with creativity, you are filled with new ideas, and that incredible creative spark. And that's probably what's causing this growth to happen, is because you have all of these ideas this week to expand on your goals, to take the next step and take the next level of things. But the thing to keep in mind is you still have this 10 of inspiration right here. You want to make sure that you are splitting things up. So maybe when you get those ideas and those inspirations, maybe write them down and plan out how you're going to achieve them each day. And remember that you don't have to achieve everything this week. This reading is only for this week. It's great that you're expanding. It's great that you're growing. But remember, you don't have to do everything right away. This is just the potential energy of this week. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come up again. And it doesn't mean that all your ideas are going to go away. You can write them down. You can type them out. You can do a voice recording of them so that you remember what they are. You can choose one big idea that you have and choose to work on it this week. Whatever your heart is telling you that you want to do the most out of your ideas. And I think this week you're really learning to have more confidence in yourself, especially with growth and the Magician here, because the Magician is all about having the tools and having everything and the skills and the capabilities to achieve what you want. So you are going to do really well with this growth, this expansion. So that's something that you're going to learn this week, is having more confidence in that, having more confidence in executing your ideas and expanding on your goals. Now, the thing with the Three of Emotions, this actually landed on the spread that I'm doing, and the thing that you need to release this week. It's interesting because this card I usually associate with friends. As you can see, there's 3 figures in this card, and this card is usually positive. It's usually about celebrations. It's usually about friends. So if you've had some conflicts from the past week or in the past with some friends, maybe it's about resolving those things this week. Or, like I said, this can also be a celebrations and party card. So I know people are going out more because things are opening up in different parts of the world with COVID. So maybe you have your schedule full this week also, which is also driving you to the 10 of Inspirations, where you're feeling overwhelmed and it feels like too many things are happening this week, is because maybe your schedule is really full. It's great that, you know, you're making plans and you're able to see friends again and family, but like I said, same thing with the Page of Inspiration, is that you don't want to overload yourself, especially since this is the overview of your week. If someone else asks you this week to hang out, then maybe ask if you can hang out next week instead. Like I said, you don't have to do everything this week. You don't have to see everyone this week. You don't have to do all of the actions that you need to take to do. Wow, I'm like, I'm having a really hard time getting this out. But basically, you don't have to do everything. You don't have to get all of your ideas out and do them right away, right now. So just keep that in mind. Let me take a quick sip of my tea here, and then we'll get to your other oracle cards for advice. Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that, you guys. These are your oracle cards for this reading. I just needed to take like a little water or tea break just because I've been doing readings all day and I just needed a quick break. Sorry about that. So let's see, we have 2 cards here. We have Throne. Your potential is endless. And we have Lioness. You've earned all your stripes. Let me actually put this up here instead, because that's what I did for the other readings. So I'm being consistent. Okay, so this Throne and your potential is endless just goes so well with your reading, especially with the Magician card. The Magician is this amazing potential energy, like I said before, with having all the tools, having all the skills that you need, having everything at your disposal to be able to achieve this growth, this expansion. The undertone of your reading and this cards for this week is really gaining back that confidence and that power, or maybe even learning it. Maybe learning that you are so much more capable and you can do so much more than you originally thought you could. So it's really beautiful that you're gaining that kind of confidence in yourself. And then we have the Lioness card here, which is you earned all your stripes. And I think that's alluding to the 10 of Inspiration and the Growth card here. Because obviously, with the 10 of Inspiration, that's the 10 is the last, is usually the last card before the Court cards. So you've built up to that. Yes, you may feel overwhelmed, but at the same time, you've done a great job for this week, and I feel like you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that confidence. You're going to feel that you've earned your stripes, and you should be proud of them. Even if you're kind of feeling overwhelmed at the end of the week and maybe a little bit tired, it'd be good to take some rest after this week. I would definitely say that. But it's because you were able to achieve all of this, and you were able to discover so much potential and confidence in yourself for this week. All right, and I'm going to leave you off with one more card. This one's kind of an advice oracle card too, but it's also an affirmation that you may need to hear. So we have mysterious here. There's so much more to me than what you see. All right. So yeah, it's exactly like I was saying before about learning that you can do so much more than what you originally thought you could. There's so much more to you than you originally thought, and that's what you're going to be learning this week. That's what you're going to be doing this week. Please take care of yourself this week, or definitely at the end of the week, because this week seems like there's going to be a lot happening and you may be feeling overwhelmed, but definitely take breaks when you can and when you need to, so that at the end of the week, when you're feeling this 10 of Inspirations energy, it doesn't feel like everything is on your shoulders. It will feel like, okay, you have this one big jug that you're carrying, but everything else is kind of split up, so it doesn't feel as heavy. All right, that is your reading. I'm going to end it there. Thank you so much for letting me do this reading for you today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I really appreciate your support. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next video.